Hello, my name is Terry Rowe, and I'm a technical specialist with Microsoft focused on Dynamics 365 finance application. Today, I'm going to share a new product which leverages our AI technology that can transform the financial function in the future. Finance is central to every organization's. Teams own processes that span the company to support business strategy, keep organizational health in check, and comply with financial regulations. Today's finance world is complex and evolving, and we hear from many leaders that they've been challenged more than ever. On one hand, modern finance teams are poised and ready to play a larger role in driving business growth strategy, but also can't walk away from maintaining a critical, albeit more operational set of responsibilities. As teams look to evolve and improve how time is spent to support more strategic work, it's evident there are elements of operational tasks that are more mundane, repetitive, and manually intensive. Instead of spending their day on analysis or cross-team collaboration, finance professionals are stuck in the drudgery of data entry and review cycles. While some of these tasks are critical and can't be automated, we also hear from a majority of finance leaders that they lack the automation tools and technology they need to transform these processes and free up time. In fact, Bain & Company estimates that 36% of finance labor time is spent on processes that can be automated. Historically, leaders, including Microsoft, look to business process outsourcing to minimize the time their teams spend on repetitive manual work. The BPO market spend reached an estimated $212 billion US in 2023, indicating just how valuable taking back this time is to finance leaders. By either outsourcing or automating some of these tasks, leaders hope to reinvest that time into more strategic work and driving more business performance. In response to the many challenges facing accounting teams, Microsoft developed Microsoft 365 Copilot for Finance, which enhances the M365 Copilot by connecting to your existing financial statement system to provide a role-specific agent that will reimagine how core financial processes get done. First, Copilot for Finance helps professionals accelerate their impact by speeding time to financial insight. Next generation AI delivers proactive insights into outliers and reduces the time it takes to compile and analyze data with tailored workflows and recommended best next actions. And second, it helps them reduce spending and drive efficiency across operations by applying AI to manual, labor-intensive financial processes like credit and collections. The solution is made up of three primary components, all working with Excel and Outlook. So let's take a look at these in more detail. The first component that we want to talk about is the ability to detect anomalies within a financial statement. In this particular case, we have a cash flow forecast that's in Excel. Leveraging our Copilot for Finance sidecar, financial professionals can just enter a natural language prompt, such as February forecast that varies from actuals by 10%. Based on the execution of the prompt, Copilot for Finance reviews the financial statement and all the information used to create the statement and identifies two variances that make up a large portion. And since this data is linked to the spreadsheet, it can identify the transactions that caused the variance. Once identified, this analysis can be added into the spreadsheet and shared across the organization to help resolve the anomalies. So that was the first component of the solution. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to demonstrate to you the next two components in the application. So the first thing we want to take a look at is the ability to detect anomalies within the Excel spreadsheet. So in this particular case, I am looking at information that's been sent in by my customer, Northwinds, and comparing it against the data that we have in our customer master records. So this first spreadsheet is what Northwind sent to me. The second one is the information that we compiled. As you notice, the headings of these two are completely different. So what I want to do is I want to actually reconcile these two bits of data. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Copilot to take a look at the headings and compare them and make sure that I've found the right information. So on the Northwoods invoice, the invoice, it's called invoice number. And in our system, it's called invoice ID. Invoice date is document date, due date is due date, and total amount is total invoice amount. So I want to go ahead and keep those. If I wanted to, I can actually make changes to these directly. But those are actually the ones that I want to do. And so the next thing I want to do is actually reconcile the data. So now what it's going to do is actually going to take a look at all the data sources and try to do a comparison and determine if there's anything that are outliers or things that don't compare. And as you'll notice, it looked through all 357 transaction sets. And most of them actually balanced, but there was one specifically, this particular transaction that showed up in our customer master record, but was not in the information that was sent by Northwinds. So now, like if I wanted to, I can just append this information to this report. It shows up in our reconciliation report with all the data, and now I can save this information. And if necessary, I can actually send an email to the customer and tell them exactly what the invoice was that was missing. So the last thing we want to talk about is how you can do credit and collections directly from within Outlook. So in this particular case, Joe Smith is a contact at Sparrow Retailer, which is one of our customers. So just by putting in Joe Smith, his email address, all the information about Sparrow Retail shows up directly here in Outlook. So here are all the agings, all the invoices, and even there's some additional activities based on past credit and collections processes. Within the individual invoice, we can attach it, we can update it, we can download the information. If we wanted to, we can actually make some changes to this particular invoice, dispute it, so on and so forth. So lots of things that can be done. But one of the things that I want to do is actually I want to go back, and now I want to type an email to Joe Smith from me requesting payment for this particular invoice. So leveraging the M365 component that's part of the solution, it's going to actually draft and compose an email. So from here, if I wanted to make some changes to it, I can have it drafted, try and draft it again. Or I can actually look at some of the drafts and actually change some of the language, change some of the tone, make some modifications or changes to it if I'd like. So this is the one that I want to do. I want to send, and I can just attach it and send that off. Once this information is sent, this email is actually attached back into the customer master record. So now that we've actually looked at the application, let's talk about a few customers that actually have used it. The first one is Microsoft itself. So we consider ourselves customer zero in the Copilot for Finance journey. So back about a year ago, our finance team actually started using this product. And what they found out is that we could take a reconciliation that took about 1 to 2 hours per account, and we could complete that in roughly about 20 minutes, saving us about 22% over what it took before. Now, again, considering we use business process outsourcing, a lot of that can go directly to the bottom line. Another customer that actually looked at that was a business process outsourcer called Genpax. And in Genpax's case, they used it to reconcile their payroll system. And they actually found, their CFO said that they found about a 50% time savings from doing this process manually. So where we're going directionally next is Microsoft is moving to the concept of an agent. So what is an agent? An agent can help you retrieve information, but more importantly, an agent can actually execute transactions on your behalf. So what you're going to see in the future, that reconciliation process that we just showed, the agent is actually not only going to find the anomalies that have been detected, but actually can take it a step further and actually execute those. So if you want to find more information about Copilot for Finance, you can look at our Copilot for Finance blog or our website, and even can see a guided demo that kind of walks through the three scenarios that we talked about. Thank you for your time and have a great day.